Now, I know we're not all perfect when it comes to being healthy, myself included, but I would be willing to bet there's some healthy habits you're doing or at least trying to do to be more healthy that's actually making you worse. So today I'm going to be exposing 14 healthy habits that you should stop doing. And of course, I am going to be sharing my opinion on what maybe you should be trying instead, but no other YouTube channel is going to be talking about this stuff. I hope you find it interesting and thought-provoking. Number one, now some of these are going to be controversial, so of course, do your own research, talk to your doctor if you want, all the classic disclaimers. But I think many of you are actually drinking too much water. And I don't mean water is bad. In fact, I think water should be one of the only things you're actually drinking. But many of us are forcing ourselves to get too much water in every day with our Stanley cups and our tumblers. We're taking them everywhere. We're drinking 4 or 5 of these a day because we need to stay hydrated. But it's actually depleting so many of your electrolytes, your minerals, your vitamins, your nutrients. You're peeing everything out. If your pee is clear, people think that's really good. No, that means you are overhydrated. You're actually getting rid of the good stuff. So I would aim for just like a light yellow, like a lovely little light yellow color. And another cue you should be listening to is very simple. If you're thirsty, then have some water. And I don't mean like, oh my gosh, I'm so thirsty and parched, like then yeah, you're probably dehydrated. But I'm just saying, listen to your body, drink water when you want. Don't always be just forcing it so much, like you need to get your gallon of water in a day. I think 2 of these for women is sufficient, especially if you are adding in a good high quality mineral sea salt for those electrolytes. And then don't forget, we get a lot of our hydration every day from the foods that we eat. So that actually leads me to number 2, which also involves salt. And it's this terrible mentality that you need to have a low salt diet in order to be healthy. I think that's trash. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're getting your sodium from highly processed foods from McDonald's, like, yeah, that's not healthy. But I think you should be truly adding salt to your diet every day, like a good quality salt, at least 1/3 of a teaspoon to a full teaspoon of salt into your food so that, again, you are getting properly hydrated. I think that also plays a huge role in why so many of us are dehydrated. We're drinking tons of water, but it's not actually being absorbed into our bodies because we don't have the minerals and the electrolytes for it to be absorbed. Sodium and salt, it plays a huge role in our body as far as muscles and brain and heart. Like people think that, oh, I have a bad heart, I can't have any salt. No, you probably shouldn't have McDonald's salt, but again, this salt is very good for your heart. But again, normal moderation is key. If you're taking spoonfuls of this every day, then duh, not good. Now, the next healthy mistake is taking supplements. Cheap supplements is actually what I mean. Now, I know this is not like the best thing in the world to spend money on, so a lot of people get their supplements from Walmart or Walgreens, and they think like,
oh, at least I'm getting some good stuff into my body. It's better than nothing, right?
Well, wrong. I would say just stop doing that because the cheap supplements are just full of terrible additives and they're almost all just completely synthetic. I think you're actually doing more harm than good. And that is why I love teaming up with Ritual. I love sharing their supplements because they are so high quality. They are third-party tested. They're sourced incredibly well. My favorite supplement that they have is actually their probiotic, but it is more than just a probiotic. It's actually a synbiotic, meaning they have, like in this one capsule, the prebiotic, a probiotic, and a postbiotic, meaning it covers the full spectrum of support for your gut. And I really do just think everyone should be taking a probiotic every day. I notice when I don't take this, like I'm way more regular. I just feel better. So you only take 1 per day, which is so easy. This is completely shelf stable, so you don't have to keep it in the fridge. You can take it with or without food. You can just like leave it on your nightstand and just try to remember to take 1 every day. But this is also a delayed release capsule. That's another reason why I love this so much, meaning it actually goes past your stomach and it goes into your colon so that all of this good bacteria can actually survive and thrive. The reason I wanted to get this out right now is because they are actually having a big Mother's Day sale, so you can save 40% on this. This is normally $54, but if you shop during the sale, it's $32.40. So I will have them linked down below, but you could also just go to ritual.com/Shay40. You could also use my code Shay40, or you could even just scan this QR code and save 40%. Now, speaking of supplements, if you are a woman and you're taking an iron supplement, just in case, because you know that a lot of women actually do have iron deficiencies, that could be a huge mistake. You need to get your blood work checked first before you just start blindly taking an iron supplement, because a lot of women just have normal levels already, or they actually have high levels of iron, like myself. I don't have crazy high levels, but I'm always told like,
Oh wow, your iron levels are higher than average.
so if I was somebody just to like taking an iron supplement, I could be getting into the toxic levels. Iron is very well known to actually cause inflammation in the body if it's elevated. And then more so, like the actual scary thing is there have been actually a lot of studies that have come out that people with high levels of iron have a much higher risk of developing cancer. Now, if you are somebody with iron levels that are just too high, you can actually go volunteer to give blood, and that will naturally lower your iron levels. And then on the flip side, if you are just iron deficient, then I really encourage you to try your hardest to get your iron source from food. And I'm all about supplements, okay? Like I really am, but the iron supplements are the one I don't feel good about. So I know everybody has to like, sometimes like this, you have to do that, but I'm just saying try your hardest to focus on iron-rich foods. Even liver. I know liver probably doesn't taste that good, but man, it'll increase your iron. Okay, the next healthy mistake is eating organic processed foods. Now, I'm not saying organic is bad, but what I am saying is, even though these are organic, they're still cheese squares. Organic cookies are still cookies. And I think a lot of people buy this stuff and they're like,
Oh yeah, it's organic, it's healthy, I can eat a lot of it.
no, like this is still like pretty unhealthy. I do buy it for my kids. Like it has some element of, I think some of it is like not sprayed with harmful chemicals, but it's still not healthy. But when it does come to buying processed foods, I do think it's really worth it to pay a little bit more and buy potato chips or crackers that don't have seed oils. Okay, so this has avocado oil instead of canola oil or sunflower oil. This is so much healthier than the other potato chips on the market. Next, if you are avoiding butter because you are thinking that's healthy, then you need to stop. You need to stop with that thinking. Healthy grass-fed butter or ghee is so incredibly healthy for you. Load up on that butter. It is full of such good nutrition and healthy fats and vitamins. I go heavy with the butter. Our family phrase is more butter, more better. Oh, if you're buying margarine, yes, margarine is terrible. Can't believe that's not butter. Yeah, terrible, terrible. The butters with added vegetable oil and seed oils, yes, those are horrible, but the good old-fashioned regular butter, incredibly healthy. Well, this next one is gonna make a lot of people mad. So this is something that a lot of people do, and they're like,
Oh man, I'm being so healthy.
it's drinking nut milks. And I'm talking about almond milk, walnut milk, cashew milk, oat milks. They are full of gums and preservatives and additives, seed oils. If you look at the back of the majority of all nut milks from the grocery store, first of all, they're extremely expensive, but they are just really not good. They are just like clogging up your body, okay? I don't think pasteurized and homogenized milk is that good either. So I'm not a huge fan of normal dairy. I drink raw milk, which everyone has their own opinion on that. Some places you can't even get it. I can get that. If you don't want to do dairy and you do want to do an almond milk, like you just have to suck it up and make it yourself. The stuff from the grocery store, it's just not good. The next bad healthy habit is eating your multi-grains, your heart-healthy multi-grains, especially like if you're at breakfast and the waitress is like,
Do you want white or wheat toast?
many people say wheat because they think it's more healthy. I completely disagree with that. I don't think either option is great. So just pick whatever the heck you want because multi-grains, more and more, it's coming out about how it's so inflammatory. It spikes our blood sugar. It really kind of irritates the gut. People have a lot of trouble eating it. They have symptoms afterwards that they don't even realize is actually coming from the multi-grains. And we've just become accustomed to feeling tired sometimes after we eat. A lot of times it has to do with the grains that we are eating. Now, I'm not saying I don't eat bread. I do eat bread, but I try my hardest to make it be sprouted bread or even sprouted grains. Like when you are shopping, you are seeing more and more sprouted options. So if you see that, give that a try. You might like it better and you might even feel better. Now, if you don't even know what sprouted means, it's basically just when the whole grain is soaked in water, it starts to germinate and it really breaks down those complex compounds, making it way easier for your body to digest it and actually absorb the good nutrients. Okay, last food thing, and then we're gonna move on. But if you are constantly snacking all day because you think that's the healthy thing to do, to keep up your metabolism, you're doing it all wrong. The problem with that is you are causing your insulin levels to be very high and elevated all day long, which is really bad. And it causes your body to constantly have to focus on digestion. And it's really important for your body to actually have a break from digestion so that it can focus on repairing your body, healing your body. Your body has to do so much throughout the day. That's why I do think intermittent fasting, if you respond well to it, would be something better to try. Really focusing on 2 to 3 meals. I like 2 meals, like significant meals in the later half of the day. I really think it makes me feel better. But again, the whole thing throughout this whole video, you need to listen to your body. It's not a one size fits all. Every suggestion that I'm mentioning probably doesn't apply to every single person, but I definitely think constant snacking is kind of wrecking havoc on our bodies. All right, moving along to another controversial one. I can only imagine those comments down there.
You're fear-mongering. You're spreading misinformation.
Guys, we're big girls here. We all have brains. Like, I don't care what you do. If you are obsessed with putting on sunblock every single day because you're so terrified of the sun, I really think that we need to stop with this, okay? For 2 things. First of all, most sunblocks are just freaking terrible with the chemicals, and then when you're literally in the sun and it's beating down on you, it's causing chemical reactions going into your body, it's legitimately doing more harm than good. But then on the other side, we actually do just need high quality vitamin D from the real source, okay? I cannot emphasize enough how critical that is to our entire bodies. Yes, if you are going to the beach and you're pale as a ghost, then yes, you should probably put on some healthier mineral-based sunscreen, which if you haven't purchased any recently, hold out, because I have been testing out and trying a very, like the healthiest sunblock I've ever tried. It's just not launched yet, okay? And I think it's gonna be launching soon. So I'm not against it entirely, but you need to have some common sense. I think it's important to go outside on a very frequent basis and get some sunlight onto your body so that you can develop what they call a solar callus, so that throughout future times of being outside, you're not burning to a crisp, but you are getting good vitamin D into your body. It is, to me, absolutely essential. This is another controversial one. Oh my gosh, people are gonna hate me after this video. But if you're taking birth control pills for hormone balance, it's not healthy. That is not good. Birth control pills in general, if you can just not be on them, don't be on them. They are really not good for you. First of all, they mask the symptoms. Like, yes, you might be like, oh, my hormones are so much more regular. It's just masking that. You need to address the root problem, or the root cause of those hormone imbalances. But then on top of that, it drains your nutrients. It really causes problems with your gut. This is really what I think is coming out more and more, but it's causing hormone health long-term to be really, really disrupted. I was on birth control pills for a very short time, but it immediately messed with me, which I'm thankful that it did. But a lot of other women just think it's so normal to be on that stuff, and it's just not. Now, another type of pill that people will take, a completely different type, is ibuprofen or different painkillers to stay on top of or prevent inflammation. They'll get ahead of the inflammation, right? And oh my gosh, it's just that's not what you should be doing. Ibuprofen, Tylenol, it really so damaging to your stomach lining, the liver, the kidneys. It's so bad. Sometimes it's necessary. I'm not saying you can never take an Advil. I'm just saying if you are doing it to stay on top of your inflammation, you need to get to the root cause. Again, what is causing that inflammation? And that's what you need to be focusing on. Of course, there are more natural ways to reduce inflammation, like turmeric, ginger, even magnesium can really help. Now, a lot of people also take ibuprofen or Tylenol when they're not feeling well because it makes them feel better. But I do just want to caution, that's going to prolong your sickness. Again, it is masking those symptoms. It's bringing down that fever that is fighting off the virus. And so I try to just not take any of that when I'm sick. And I swear to you, I am up and at 'em within a day or two. It really makes a difference. But sometimes, this is another thing, healthy thing people do when people are sick, or even just in life in general. They're very much into using antibacterial soap and wipes because they need to get rid of the germs. They don't want to get sick. They're wiping everything down. And I really think that is just hurting your immune system. We need to be exposed to germs. We need to have our body have invaders so that we can learn how to fight them off. I just don't ever use Clorox wipes. I think they're full of bad stuff anyway, but it's also I genuinely believe I'm doing a favor to my immune system by not using them. Now, the next one has to do with exercise, and it's always focusing on like long cardio sessions. If you think you're doing that and just getting like the best workout ever, like I think you might be wrong, especially if you're a woman. There's some other things that might even be more beneficial. So if you are just running on the treadmill, running outside, like your cardio just like going so long, after a half an hour or so, you're not really getting as much benefit as you might think. And also it's just really elevating your cortisol levels, which again for women is just not good. So I think there's other ways to get an even better workout, which, you know, I love going for walks. Even adding a weighted vest is amazing. I've mentioned yoga, just like different types of movement. I love my rebounder. Also the HIIT training, which is high intensity interval training, which is where you're still getting cardio for like 20, 30 seconds, and then you take a break. And so it allows those levels to come back down. But really I'm just trying to emphasize the importance of variety. But don't forget about Ritual. I will have them linked down below. You can take advantage of their Mother's Day sale and get 40% off your order. I hope you found this video at least interesting. Maybe it planted a little seed and then you can take it from there. But if you're new, please subscribe and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.